Hello and good evening, good evening. This is Endurance Productions coming at you with some more movie reviews this evening. Getting back into stride with my John Carpenter series. I'm going to further on the series this evening with none other than the old-fashioned ghost story, The Fog. Yes, that's right, beware, there's something in the fog. Of course, directed by John Carpenter, one of my favorites of John Carpenter's kind of the early 80s era of films that he made, and it just had that every film just had that John Carpenter feeling to them back then. This movie is just a great it's just a great little thrill ride, a little piece of history really. It's not an edge of your seat thriller like these things that they're making now. It basically has an ensemble cast, a great old-fashioned ghost story behind it. People that show up in this movie are, you'll notice that this movie's kind of sprinkled with regulars from John Carpenter's movies from that era. A lot of the same faces will show up in this film, and you'll notice them along the way. Some of the most notable people that star in this movie, of course, you've got Jamie Lee Curtis turning in another performance in a John Carpenter movie. Adrienne Barbeau, who you see show up in Escape from New York later on. John Houseman makes an appearance at the first of the movie that kind of sets the story in place. Janet Leigh, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's mother and star of the original Psycho, makes an appearance in this movie. Also Hal Holbrook, many others folks. Tom Atkins is in this movie as well. He's a great old John Carpenter regular in these films. I mean, I could go on and on. It's just a great collaboration between the direction of John Carpenter and the production of Deborah Hill, which is the same dynamic duo behind the original Halloween. The story of The Fog takes place in around a Northern California town, I believe, called Antonio Bay. What it is, something happened, I think about 100 or 200 years prior to the story that we see on the screen, and it's noted at the first of the movie around an old campfire ghost story that a leper colony was off the shores of this little fishing community, and the leper colony wanted to have some dealings with them. Well, some heads of the local community back in the day kind of screwed them over really, and then basically the ghosts of these left for dead people on the leper colony island, basically they got, I'm not going to ruin the story for you folks, they got really messed over, and then well, the rest of it ensues. They use the fog as sort of like a cover so that they can go out and do their little ghostly, ghastly things in the story. There's all kinds of different little jump scares, things of that nature that takes place. It's just a good ride, folks. Good all-around John Carpenter fare from the early 1980s. I'd like to talk just a minute about the DVD presentation that I have here. I have the MGM Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer special edition of The Fog. A lot of the first MGM DVDs that came out didn't have a lot of special edition or special features type things packed on there. I gotta say folks, this one is a redeemable feature to MGM DVDs because this thing is just chock full of all kinds of special features. Some of the most notable things, reading it right off the box here folks, they got a new making of documentary, outtakes, story to film comparisons. They have the original 1980 documentary behind the scenes, advertising gallery, linear notes of John Carpenter, audio commentary by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, and it's got some other items in there like trailers, things of that nature, all jammed into the disc. It also sports a standard version for a full screen presentation, and as well, the most notable one, the 2:3:5:1 aspect ratio widescreen, 16:9 anamorphic widescreen. It also sports I've listened to this movie many times on surround sound while watching it and cranked it up just right. It has a 5:1 digital enhanced surround sound. It's excellent folks. If you have the means to try this one out on a nice little scary night when it's raining outside, and set the mood just right, wait till it gets good and dark, tune out the surround sound just right, you'll have a really great time. It also has the original mono track from the movie. So if you want to go old school VHS, you can listen to that one as well, I guess. There again, folks, got the regular English and Spanish subtitles included on this particular version of it. There again, there has been a remake of this movie. Beware of it. I saw it at the movies. Although the Fog remake wasn't that bad, it wasn't that good either, except none other than the original. The original rocks. The remake just needs to go on, do its just go on and do something else, because this one is where it all started, and this one still holds true to today. A little bit of trivia to go along with it. I found this out while I was listening to the audio commentary of The Fog. Basically, the movie had a little problem post-production. Right before it went out to the movies, John Carpenter had come back from working on some other projects and viewed the film. And by that time, in the early 1980s, we'd already gotten to the point where it wasn't the days of Halloween were kind of over, where it was essentially a bloodless movie, but everybody thought it was so bloody, but it really wasn't. It was all up to your imagination. By then, we'd had Friday the 13th, and everything was getting a little bloodier, and you had to put some more blood on the screen and some more gore, that kind of thing. So what they did was they went back and shot some insert shots of some of the lost pirates in the fog there, with having some gruesome looking faces and some more kill hits with the knives hitting the bodies and things of that nature. But you really couldn't tell it to really look at it, in my opinion, because the movie is a really good, it's a well-made product. It's a little piece of history. I never get tired of it. I always get it out around Halloween time and watch it, because it just sets the mood, and it's just a good little creepy outing. I gotta say, my final thoughts, my most favorite thing about The Fog, I guess I can part with, and it's the John Carpenter score. There again, John Carpenter put a lot of heart and soul into a lot of these early scores that he put into his movies, I felt. And this one just has that little, kind of, it's like you're kind of riding the ride kind of feeling to the music. So there again, don't take my word for it. Watch it. If you've never seen it, you need to run out and rent this right away. And if you like it, you need to go buy it. But accept no substitutes for the special edition of John Carpenter's The Fog DVD. Unless you get it on Blu-ray. I hear Blu-ray is pretty good too. Take care, folks. We'll see you next time when the John Carpenter series continues.